We were in a really difficult position at Social Bite because we have a big social enterprise hospitality business, and suddenly, pretty much overnight, all of that commercial trading had to close down.
So a couple of weeks before the lockdown happened, we became really conscious that members of the homeless community were going to be severely at risk from the coronavirus outbreak.
The really vulnerable people in Scotland that we work with day in, day out were going to be amongst the worst hit and the most likely to be really, really badly affected by this crisis.
We really put our minds to work to think, well, what can we do as Social Bite to help? And we realised our ability to make fresh food and to deliver that could be really, really helpful.
We started off at quite a small scale. We were producing just a few hundred food packs every day, but quickly the demand grew, and before we knew it, we were at about 3,000 every day.
But what we kept discovering was that more and more people needed access to these emergency food packs, and we wondered if maybe we could do double what we were currently doing, but that would require the funding for us to do so. And that was where you guys came in.
So we set about putting together emergency food bags of sandwiches and meals that can be easily heated up, and working with a range of community partners across Scotland.
So I started building a database of probably around 50 different organisations and local community groups that either we already knew of or that we were able to find online, and basically just trying to find out what their needs were going to be. And now, a couple of months later, we're probably working with about 100 different organisations.
And not just members of the homeless community, but also applying the same idea to children and families and elderly folk that were most at risk of suffering through the outbreak.
So it's been an incredible scale that's been achieved, and that's only been possible because we've been able to work with over 100 small grassroots local charities and community organisations to get this food into the hands of people that need it most. So we're incredibly grateful to all of the Scottish public that have donated and got behind this campaign. We're grateful to the Scottish Government that have supported with us, and we're grateful to everyone that's collaborated, and most importantly our own team that have been in the kitchen, out in the delivery vans, on the front line, day in, day out for the last 3 months. So thank you, and let's keep it going as this crisis continues.
Hello everybody, I'm Joe, the delivery driver for the Glasgow area. It's been a pleasure to deliver to these places. You know, every day you go there, and every day you see the smiles on their faces, and thank you for what you're doing. You know, it's no something that they take for granted, and it's good to know that you play, you know, your small part, you know, in the bigger picture, to know that you're making a difference.
Hi, it's Graham Pacitti from Heart of Midlothian Football Club here. I'm furloughed at the moment, and along with some of my colleagues we have volunteered to help Social Bite prepare 2,000 packed lunches per day from our kitchens here at Tynecastle. We're also doing that in conjunction with our charity Big Hearts, and we're delighted that we are being able to help vulnerable families within our community.
Hi, I'm Louise from Balhousie Care Group, and we've been supporting Social Bite by providing 2,000 meals per week to those in need within Dundee and Angus.
It's been an absolute lifesaver. We've been working with lots of different families and individuals in real desperate circumstance due to COVID, and masses of food poverty and financial hardship. So having a fresh, healthy lunch in Dundee has been an absolute lifesaver. So it's been a real privilege to be part of working with Social Bite and Balhousie to provide such a needed and valued service up in Dundee at such a difficult time. So a massive thank you to everyone involved. Thanks a lot from Dundee.
Because many charities had to change their services, it meant that a lot of them were restricted, and we felt it was really important to communicate to people who still might need to use them when and where they could still access them. So we created a signposting document with up-to-date information that we hosted on our website, and that meant that we could direct people to these adjusted services to make sure that they could still get the support that they needed.
As well as our lovely fresh food going out from Central Kitchen, we recognised we could go that one step further. So I led a team of volunteers and we packed non-perishable food items to go out to community groups across Scotland. One of those that were really quick to step up and help out was RBS, who were kind enough to open up their atrium in Gogurburn. Also Sky were delivering these non-perishable food items across Scotland. You know, our team are really humbled by the response from all the charities and organisations we delivered to.
Our shops have remained open throughout the pandemic, and that's in order for us to serve emergency food for those who need it the most just now. But due to many other services needing to shut their doors, we've seen a massive increase in those who are relying on our service every single day. We're so incredibly grateful that we can do anything we can in order to support those who need us just now.
Scottish Government awarded Simon Community Scotland and Streetwork additional funding to be able to go and buy hotel accommodation. This meant that people who were rough sleeping and staying on the streets were now moved to their individual rooms that became place of safety, but also receive support that would move them into more settled accommodation.
With almost every single rough sleeper in Scotland temporarily housed in these hotels or emergency accommodations during the pandemic, it gave a really massive opportunity to try and make a big inroad into Scotland's rough sleeping numbers, and we were really worried that people may be discharged from these accommodations straight back onto the streets, and that's something we wanted to do everything in our power to make sure it didn't happen. So we're thrilled to work with Scotland's largest housing association, the Wheatley Group, who have opened up around 250 mainstream one-bedroom flats for these people to go in and get their own permanent tenancy, and we would wrap around as much support as people needed through our Housing First programme. So we're super grateful to the Wheatley Group and all the partners in that programme to hopefully work together to make a big inroad into Scotland's rough sleeping numbers.